Okay, I think we're live, everyone. It's delayed. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're live. I think we have a slight delay, but okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Joanna Buckmeyer, and I am one of 4 community managers within the scholarship program, and I'm going to moderate tonight's webinar. We're so excited that all of you guys have joined, and this webinar is brought exclusively to all of you Android Nanodegree students out there. This evening, we're going to talk to 3 lovely graduates of our Android Nanodegree to share their journey of their personal and professional goals during their nanodegree and beyond. We're very lucky today to have these 3 special guests. We have Francesca Kuda, who's from A&D. We have Ayn Huang, who's from A&D as well, and Teresa Ung, who is also from ABND. They've finished their nanodegrees and they are now living and working within the EU. So first of all, let's talk about how this is going to go down. All of you guys submitted a ton of really great questions into the registration form that we sent out. So in the first portion of the webinar, we did our best to take all those questions and we organized them into the most frequently asked. And we're going to actually address those with all 3 of our guests. And then in the second part of the webinar, in about the last 10 minutes, we're going to change things up and open it up to live questions. So all of you out there, if you want to submit a live question, just log into YouTube, and a lot of you are already in the chat that's over on the right-hand side. Simply put your questions in there, and then we'll do our best to answer them. So we'll really try to get to all of your questions. So now we're just going to go over to our guests. And so let's get an introduction from our first guest, Teresa. So Teresa, can you tell us a little bit about where you live, details about your current role and company, and what experiences in coding that you had before your nano degree?
Sure. Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm based in London in the UK, and I'm currently working as an Android engineer at Starling Bank. So Starling Bank is a mobile-only bank, and we allow people basically to open and manage their bank accounts only on their phone. So I'm an Android engineer there. So I received the Android Basic Scholarship in 2017 and completed my nano degree at the start of July last year. And before that, I actually didn't have any prior experience in programming. I did a history of art degree. And after graduating, I actually worked in accounts at an art auction house. So no programming experience before. So yeah, the nano degree was basically like the first time I've actually properly sat down to learn programming.
Okay, wow, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. That's really cool, and I think really inspirational to our students out there. We have 6,000 students in total in our scholarship program, and they come from all different kinds of backgrounds. So that's really cool to hear about your experience. So next we'll go to Ayn. Can you jump in and answer the similar questions? So tell us where you live, tell us about your current role and company, and what experiences in coding that you had before your nano degree.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Ayn. I'm from Bulgaria, and I'm working at Ocado Technologies as software engineer. I'm on the Android team. So the company is like Amazon, but we deal with groceries throughout the UK and Europe. And before the nano degree, I had experience with programming. I have always been a developer, but in other spheres. So I just recently changed to full-time Android.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. And Francesca, last but not least, yeah, tell us about where you live, your role in your company, and what experience that you had in coding before the degree.
So, hi everybody, I'm Francesca. As you can see, I'm originally from, or maybe you can hear, I'm originally from Italy, but I've been living in London for the past 10 years. And right now I'm head of engineering at Us2. Some people know Us2 because of the game Monument Valley. We don't only build games, we are also a digital product studio. So we build digital product, apps, websites that have a meaningful impact on people. So I did my nano degree on Android I completed in 2016. And before that, I think I can say that I was born a Java developer. So I've been Java developer for most of my life, and then I switched into Android. And yeah, that's my experience so far.
Okay, great. Thank you guys so much. And thank you again for being here. It's really awesome to both hear your stories and also for you guys to share your experience and expertise to really help the student community get better at understanding what's next for them. So thanks again. Okay, so let's jump into our first question. So these are all questions that were submitted by all of you. Teresa, this one goes out to you. What would be the one and only recommendation for nanodegree students to get the most out of their nanodegree?
Okay, I guess for me, it's taking your time and going at your own pace. Because I did the Android Basics Nanodegree and I didn't really have much programming, well, any programming knowledge before. So I did have to sort of slow down, rewind and play the videos again or go onto forums and ask. But yeah, I find like, I guess when you start learning, you might feel the rush to like try to complete everything. But yeah, so I think it's best if you can just like slow down, take your time to digest everything, and then you can build like good basics and foundations from there.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And Francesca, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, maybe this is very close to my particular experience of the nano degree, but living in London, most of the time I commute like 1 hour to go to work and 1 hour back. And I found that being able to download the lessons and watch that on the train helped me optimizing the time I actually can spend once I'm back after a full day job to maybe focus on the exercise more than on watching videos. So maybe these are like little tricks that you can think of, especially if you have a long commute like I used to have, that can help you get the most of the time you have at hand.
Okay, yeah, great, thank you. Okay, so we'll jump to the next question. So this one we'll ask for Ayn to reply to. How much time did you spend on learning both the course and new extracurricular things during your program?
So yeah, okay. So there's no real correct answer for it because if you set up something like a mindset that you have to learn something more beside the program, it's really hard. You gotta be inspired about it. And yeah, I would like spend some time watching other applications from, for example, the featured application from the Play Store. And like, wow, I want to make those application, and then I gotta go search like how they did it, like what they used to make those things, and try to delve into those technologies from them and try to steal from them also. So yeah, it's really no correct answer like how much time you should spend on it. You should like have to be inspired yourself to learn more and more. And the community really helpful about that too. When you feel down and you ask them, and they will answer you like on the Slack, like, guys, I don't know what to learn. And they will ring on you like, okay, learn about RX Java or something, some cool libraries like that. So yeah, that's the way to go for me.
Okay, great. And were you a scholarship student or you were a scholarship student?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Also after that, I won the scholarship for nanodegree from Udacity. So I got both.
Great, that's really great. Okay, thank you. So let's jump on to the third question. And I think a lot of students can probably really relate to this, and I'm assuming all three of you can as well. So Francesca, how do you recommend to stay motivated and focused to complete the program?
I can talk about my personal experience. So for me, the nano degree was an opportunity to learn what I was not able to learn when I started hearing about Android. So maybe a step back, I started Android by pairing with an Android developer. So everything I learned at that stage was very much about the specific context I was applying to, and I was missing all the basic foundation concept, like what is the life cycle of an activity, how does fragment works, because my learning was very basic on the feature I was trying to develop. So I started the program, and for me, the main goal and what kept me focused was that I wanted to understand the principle of Android, the fundamentals of Android, and that kept me motivated. The idea of having a clear goal that I was trying to achieve by taking the nano degree. For some people can be, I want to change my job career, for example. And also the fact about being motivated. Maybe this is like very me. I'm a person that plan quite a lot and in quite a lot of details. So I always try to find sometimes, because my day can be quite busy with work, I always try to find sometimes on the weekend to spend maybe doing the project. And by knowing that there will be that save time, 2 hours, 3 hours on a weekend where I can really concentrate, helping me keep on top of the different deadlines for the projects. And also like aiming to complete all the lessons by the time the weekend will arrive. So that was quite helpful, at least for me.
Great. And so I have a follow-up question for you too, because you have a really awesome senior role in your career right now. So was that something that you also had in mind? Like, was this a goal that you were really keeping, that you knew what your next step was? Could you just talk a little bit about that?
That I would try to condense the whole things. So it's very interesting because if you ask me, I will still define myself as a software engineer. I've always been coding. I'm coding right now, and this is what drives me. But I always wanted to go beyond just the line of codes I was writing. So when I was a backend developer, I wanted to know more about the front end, and that put me to be a front-end developer. And once I see that there was the world of Android, I got curious, and then here we go. I was an Android developer. And then after the nano degree, or I think thanks to the nano degree, I got the foundation to be more of a tech lead role, because I was able to see the bigger picture of not just a single feature or the function you are developing, but more how the different parts join together and how to push at the maximum what a platform like Android can do. And then from that point, I went into more like architectural type of role in my previous job. And from them, at that point, by being a tech lead with a team of up to 10 people and then architect, I had the desire to lead a bigger team. And there was the opportunity about the head of engineering. And at that point, I was like super scared. But luckily, I had a mentor next to me, and he said to me, Francesca, try to go for the interview. Worst case scenario, it will be a learning opportunity, and you know what are the things you need to work on or improve, move forward. So I went through the interview process, and apparently that was okay. So yeah. I mean, what I suggest for people that look at me and say, oh, how did you reach that role? Is just because I never stopped to do only what my job spec was about. I never stopped just to be satisfied to know that I was writing Android code. why not know more about the backend? Why know more about the infrastructure? Why know more about the architecture? And by having that bigger picture, help me being where I am right now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. It's very inspirational. And yeah, I guess I wanted to ask Teresa as well. What did you do to stay motivated throughout the program?
So I agree with what Francesca was saying. So you have a you visualize yourself and what you want to achieve, and you have an end goal in mind, and you work towards it. And whenever you find like losing motivation, just revisualizing what you want to achieve. And also, this is something I learned much later, but actually sometimes going out and meeting other Android developers or other people learning on the course, for example, at meetups, it's really been quite motivating as well. So in London, we've got a few meetups that have been arranged. We also have a really good London Android meetup called Landroid. And initially, I didn't really dare to go there because I thought, no, well, I'm not going to be able to understand anything. But after a while, I realized, it is a good opportunity to learn something new, and like people sometimes have never encountered that, and it's a great feeling to know that everyone's still learning as well, and that really kept me motivated as well.
Great, thank you so much. And Ayn, we also wanted to get your input on this question. So how did you stay motivated during your program?
Well, I agree with everybody so far that you just have to visualize yourself. And my other way to motivate myself is try to solve my life problem or my hobbies. For example, I love photography, right? And there aren't any application that combine all sources of the photography area into one place. So I tried like, okay, let me try to gather them from everywhere and put them into one application. Like I can get pictures from Instagram, I can get picture from 500 pixels and etc. into one place. And then I start to hit some walls and got some problem with it, and I try to solve it, and it's quite motivating for me to solve problems. So yeah, that's what I have tried to do with my skills during the course, and it kept me motivated so far.
Great.
Also, that another students in the scholarship also sharing from time to time on the Slack, like, look, guys, I've just done this, and I was like, wow, that guy is good. And yeah, I want to be like that guy. So yeah, that's also kept me motivated.
Great. That's really great. Thank you guys for sharing that. The next question I wanted to ask, so we can start again with you, Ayn. What was your biggest wow moment during the Nanodegree? I think you're muted still.
Yeah, okay. The wow moment for me is the community. I cannot stress enough about that thing. Like any other, without the community that have given to us, like the forum and the Slack and organize it with the mentors, stuff like this. Other sources for learning, they will just give us video materials, and I'm gonna watch them and finish it by the time. While with the Udacity programs, I get to contact with the people, I get to talk to them, share knowledge and everything like that. I really love it. I love the community inside the programs, right?
Great.
And also the other thing is that I get to learn hands-on from the Googlers, the guys who created Android or developed them, to be precise. So yeah, that is another wow factor here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And Teresa, could you jump in on that one as well? The biggest wow factor for you during the Nanodegree?
So for me, I was actually thinking of like the wow moment, and it might seem quite trivial, but it's probably one of the earlier videos that Kunal and Catherine, they were explaining object-oriented programming, and then they started with taking out boxes and sticky notes, and like I never thought about things in that way before. So when they started explaining, and And I realized, oh, actually, I understand what it is. And it got me really hooked. And I think like for days, I couldn't really sleep properly because my mind was just buzzing. So from then on, it really like pushed me to continue to switch careers and become an Android developer.
Great, that's really exciting. And Francesca, what about you? Biggest wow moment?
I think I will agree with what have been said so far. Like, I never felt throughout the months of the nano degree alone. Like at any point there was someone somewhere in the world that was able to help me. That is quite amazing. And also being able to, like, after years of back-end development, being able to produce something that you can actually show to people and say, yes, I built that. That is a nice achievement.
Great, thank you guys. Okay, so on to the next question. If you could turn back time, what would you have done differently and why? So let's start with Teresa on this one.
Sure. So I think for me, when I was doing the basics nano degree, I guess I didn't really participate too much in like the Slack channels. I was mostly on the forums. But even then, like I felt like I wasn't making use of the opportunities that we have in the forums and in Slack. And I think in the first few months, I didn't actually go out and meet anyone that was actually doing our course. And I'm in the current group as well. So this time around, I've actually met loads of people on the basics course and on the actual Android Nanodegree course, and I found like it's been really helpful and really motivating. So I guess if I were to turn back time, I would start that a bit earlier and engage with everyone a lot more from the start.
Okay, okay, thanks. And Francesca, what about you? What would be something that you would do differently this time around?
I think I found it particularly helpful the code review from the project submission, and sometimes I remember focusing just on optimizing exactly to pass the project, where sometimes I would have loved to spend more time to actually rethink and work a little bit more on the project. Even as a side to like see how it can be improved, how better techniques can be used. So maybe more time on the project and not just focus on the immediate feedback from the code review.
Okay, okay, great. And Ayn, what about you?
Well, from my side, I would wish like I spent like time correctly, have my timetable correctly, not like push to the deadline almost all the time, which was really bad. Like because I wasn't able to do things I thought I would do for the project before the submit, and yeah, that was like I would want to be more serious about it and spend much more time on it, but I didn't, and yeah.
Okay, and so when you were kind of like maybe procrastinating a little bit, which some of us do on occasion,
Yeah.
procrastinators.
She's muted or something. Connection problem. I'm not hearing anything anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe we lost connection.
Yeah.
For a little bit. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was slacking a lot during that time, so I shouldn't have. I could have like done some projects more correctly, have done like more beautifully, besides than just deliver the requirements. So yeah. This is awkward. So guys, until the session leader returns, how about we continue the conversation to keep this thing not so awkward? Maybe? Yes?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
Hey,
I like that.
everyone, we're back.
Okay.
Sorry about
We are
that.
safe.
Yeah, we just had issues with our internet in the office, unfortunately, but now we're back. So sorry about that. Were you guys updating on the questions, or what did I miss? Because we can jump right back in. Or
Well, you will never know.
never know, I guess. Okay, well, we can jump right back into the questions. Thank you, thank you for everyone out there for your patience, and also thanks to all three of you guys for hanging in there. Okay, so the last thing that we were talking about was the wow moment. And then we moved on to what you would do if you could do things differently. So Francesca and Teresa, did you both have the chance to answer that question, or should we turn it over to you?
We all had the chance to answer it.
You all did. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can then, thank you. We can jump to the next questions after this. So I think these are probably the most asked questions. What we're going to jump into is kind of how you got into your career. So what happened after you graduated? So yeah, the first question, I'll direct this to Teresa. How difficult was it to land a job after graduation, and how long did it take you?
Okay. I guess for me, mine's a bit more of a lucky story. So when I started the scholarship, it was a challenger phase. So we had like the 3 months, and before you know whether you get the full scholarship, just like we had now. So as I was doing it and I was reaching the end of the 3 months, I felt like, I guess most of us did. We were worried and unsure whether we'll make it to the next round. So I thought, I'll take matters into my own hands. I really liked what I was doing then. So one day when I was on Stack Overflow at night, searching for how to do something while building my own app, I came across a job advert for Starling Bank. And initially I wasn't sure whether I was ready to apply or anything, but it was one of those adverts which didn't actually state like a long list of requirements. You need to have this, you need to know this. So I felt like, okay, it might be safe to just apply and see where it goes, how it goes. I think at that point in time, I haven't actually met any like Android developers in person. So I thought it would be good to just go out there and meet them. So I applied for the job, and they called me for an interview. And I think after 2 interviews and a few technical tests later, I was offered the position. And I felt like, oh, yeah, I really want to do this. So I accepted, and I started work last May. So at that point in time, I still hadn't actually finished the Nanodegree. Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel like you were ready to jump in to start applying for jobs, or did you have any self-doubt that you were dealing with?
Yeah, so when I saw the advert, I wasn't quite sure, because like I was looking just to see, looking at job adverts just to see like what sort of skills I need to start learning after doing the Nanodegree. And it's funny to say, it's like it's probably just fate, but when I saw the advert, I thought this could be the one. So even though I wasn't quite sure whether I was up to it, and because it was quite a vague advert, it didn't say like you needed a lot of skills. It just said you have a passion for Android development, and you also want to change like